Cover her face with the mask of hate. Horror Italia. Cannibal Ferox.
Welcome to Horror Italiano. This is the tour through Italian horror cinema brought to you by Ricky and Joe. If this is your first time watching the episode, welcome, and make sure to check out our other episodes. This one, oh boy, I know that I was not prepared, and I cannot imagine that he was not prepared. So our heroes and antagonists all start in New York, and the starting was kind of weird because it was this disco music and this dude just walking along, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like it could be Cannibal Ferox. So, I paused it and it said it was. And because when you got introduced to these gangsters looking for a guy who stole money, I'm like, what the fuck? So this leads you to, which you meet later on, the cast of characters in here. It was pretty interesting for 1981. And obviously you can tell this was at the tail end, because I think you bring this up with some of the other stuff that we do, that you can tell by the score that it's done around the 70s. So that's why it kind of had that 70s feel for it. But you got the brother and sister, you got Pat, and then later on we meet Mike. So I just want to talk about some of these characters before we discuss what the fuck is going to happen to them. Because, like, with you, did it throw you off the way the movie started?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing I wrote in my notes was that music.
Mm.
That music was actually lifted from a previous film too, because that is so 70s.
Oh,
And it fits the bill though. It does fit the narrative of the film. It does lead us into this unknown. But like you said, it's in New York and some guys looking for some whores. He runs into some drug dealers, and the very first thing, bro, when that guy comes out of nowhere. By the way, the dubbing, yes, the dubbing, bro. It was
Oh.
complete. Everyone had a completely dubbed voice, and that one guy, that older guy, comes out of the hallway. He's like, "Where is that motherfucker?" That's like the first thing you hear. And by the way, the blonde guy with the mustache in this scene, we just saw him in The Gates of Hell, and he's also in Cannibal Holocaust. So
Yep.
there's another alumni for Cannibal Holocaust in this movie too. We'll get into him, but yeah, I like that because it just didn't thrust us into into the Amazon. And I was telling myself too, how are we getting there? How is this missing drug dealer Mike? How is he gonna be integral to the storyline that's gonna be going out into the fucking jungle dealing with cannibals when we're in New York, we're in the fucking city, and we're talking about whores and drug dealers here, you know what I'm saying? And we had some guy that just get executed. So I was like, what's going on here? So I did enjoy that. And then of course, after the credits, we cut to our three main protagonists. Was it Rudy, Gloria, and
Gloria and
Pat,
Pat.
right?
Pat.
Yeah, they're traveling. They're a bunch of students, and they're trying to disprove that cannibalism is in fact false, fake news. It's not real. So that's the basis of the story. I wouldn't be called. I don't want to even go to the fucking park around here, mind you, going into the Amazon jungle. Hell no. And and then you start meeting all the locals. But God, man, what you thought about that?
Well, and I think it's Mike who was in City of the City of the Dead.
No, he was
He played.
too. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because
we got a
yeah,
few.
Mike played Bob, and then like funny enough, because you had mentioned Cannibal Holocaust, he was in another prior to this was in another cannibal movie, and like years later does another cannibal movie.
Oh, you're talking about he played the
Mike,
detective here, right?
no, Mike, the drug guy, the guy was all coked up.
So Mike played Bob. He's the one that got his face drilled.
Yes.
But did you notice?
I did not pick up the one when you said that one in the beginning was in it also. Right?
All right, let's run it back. Jay Uso style. Mike, yes, he played Bob. and
Yes.
City of the Living Dead: The Gates of Hell. The dude who drilled him to fucking death was, remember Mr. Ross? He was also the other detective in here. Funny enough, his name
Oh,
was Ross in this movie too.
oh shit! I missed that.
So
I completely.
yo,
Oh my god.
immediately I put in my notes, Angry Gates guy is in this movie. What the
Oh
hell? The
my
blonde mustache
god.
guy? He was the gravedigger. Remember? He was also in this one from City of the Living Dead, and so was Bob. So we had three of these
Huh.
people in this movie from that film, and of course, the detective was also in Cannibal Holocaust. And you're right. There was a previous film that was
Um.
done prior to this. Eaten Alive, I think it was.
Yeah, I
And
thought I wrote it down,
So
but I
yeah,
forgot to
yeah.
write it. But yeah, it was
And
the.
funny, the actor's name is Robert Kerman, I believe. And funny enough, he's in this film, and was in Cannibal Holocaust and another previous movie. You said it. What was it?
Cannibal Apocalypse.
He's a former porn actor. That the director of this film didn't know that until after. He said if he knew he was a porn actor, he would have never cast him in this movie. I'm like, motherfucker, did you not know the shit you put into this movie? But porn draws the line.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. But
Well,
yeah,
and
immediately I started recognizing all of these fucking actors from all the shit we've been covering on this channel.
and like you said about going in there, here's the thing. So Gloria is there to write her thesis. Yeah, I'm sorry. Somebody's gonna invite me to. Hey, I want to go to the jungle because I want to prove that cannibalism is a myth. I'm like, I'm good.
Ain't worth it.
I'll see you when you get back. If you write that book, I'll buy it. I'll be
Write that
first in
thesis
line.
about something else.
Yeah, but to go there and you knew that it was gonna just all go wrong. I mean, like off the bat, and I knew that this movie, I knew that you were gonna be in trouble, especially when they're on the boat and one of the natives hands her. It was that like an anteater, or it was,
I don't
or
know what it
it was,
was,
it was
man.
something. It was, but it was a little
It kind
mammal
of,
thing, and
I don't
explained
think it
what.
was an anteater, but it was similar because of the nozzle.
And they explain what it's
Nuzzle.
for. And when I see the anaconda killing him, I'm like, is this real? Oh god, is this really happening? Like, did they film this? And I'm telling myself, all right, just remember, you watch Animal Planet, you watch Mutual of Omaha, you have seen this happen for real. But what really fucking pissed me off, like it's the middle of the night because I texted you, I think it was like 1 in the morning. I'm like, Rudy, you got a machete. Fucking chop the anaconda. Stop it from it. Like I turned
I
my
was yelling
head.
at my screen, bro. Like,
Yo,
bro, what's going on? Get
they're
up.
just standing there, and I turned my head because I didn't want to see it anymore. Like it was a bit much,
um,
and when you're now just hearing it, you're like, this is like never ending. And I was like, oh shit, Ricky's gonna kill me. And we went out to dinner, and I told Adam, I'm kind of in a quandary here. So this movie has a lot of stuff that's really going to bother Ricky. So I could tell him the scenes when they're going to come. But if I tell him, you won't experience the movie. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? You'll be anticipating it. You're going to fast forward it. You're not going to feel, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, I don't mean it in a bad way. Yeah. You're not going to feel what I felt. So if I took that from you, then you wouldn't get to walk out of this movie feeling the same because your messages after you were done. But yeah, I kind
Well,
of
let me
I,
just say this. Let
uh,
me just say this. Just I want to just, 'cause honestly, I do not approve of any animal cruelty whatsoever on film. If I knew that going, I mean, no, all right. Let me, all right. For the basis of this channel and to view these movies and to experience them, I will allow myself to watch them, right? I don't, before this, my rule, I never seen Cannibal Holocaust because of that. I don't approve of it. I don't think it's needed. I think it's lazy, it's cheap, and it's just cruel. It's just very cruel and sad. It doesn't add anything to this film, especially when all of these kills added nothing to this movie whatsoever. They just wanted real deaths on here to say they had them, so
yeah,
they could create buzz, controversy, to get on the video nasty list and stuff like that. I mean, I knew this was real once they killed the turtle just by the way it was reacting, and there's no way back in 1981 they were gonna have a puppet effect look that good. So
no,
that's
that
when I
was
was like,
hard.
oh man,
That was hard. That was hard. That's when
what?
that was the
Yeah,
scene that I said, "This is where Ricky's gonna have his melt." Because you already, and again, it took. Were this is season 2 or season 3 of this? We're in season 2,
3.
right?
No,
3,
it's 2, 2. We're
2.
2, 2.
I finally got you to agree to do Cannibal Holocaust,
And then yeah,
and I left it for the end of the series just because. Okay, I know, but he's not going to want to see it. And
yeah. No,
literally, it's all in here, and I'm like, "Oh
to
my
be
god!"
fair, this was I put this on the list. It wasn't you. I put Cannibal
Okay, good.
Ferox on
Thank
the
you. I
list.
thought it was me.
No, no. If I knew it was that pervasive, I would have still watched it again just to get my reaction of the film. I don't approve this. This is a movie I will never watch again. I will never
Mm-mm.
own. It's not something I approve of. Now, with that said, I want to just get that negative aspect out of the way because other than that, there's a lot of good stuff to talk about in this movie. So I don't want to talk about the animal stuff anymore, to be
Right.
honest with you. So I just wanted to get it out of my system right now. I think it sucks, and to me, it detracts from the film.
I couldn't find anything if he used actors for the natives or if those were real
They're
natives.
real hell,
So
bro. These are
that's what I'm
real
saying.
natives.
So when they were doing that, he basically he may have found out this is something that they do. I want to film it like the way that they eat that. I think that was a caiman. I think
Yeah,
that's what that was.
but
Yeah, and the turtle. But I see what you're
mm,
saying, and we'll
you don't
move
have
on.
to
But
have it on there
I
like
think,
that.
yeah, I think it was just, and I think as you said, it was giving it just a little bit more of that shock factor to it.
There
To
was
be
a lot
honest,
of off-screen like violence in this film, but all the animal stuff they had to show it to you, you
yeah.
know. And I mean, there
But
was
let's
like
let's talk about the humans.
the actor who plays Bob though, not Bob. I'm sorry, that's his other character. Mike.
Mike.
They made him kill the pig, the little boar,
Uh,
but he did not want to do it. They used a double for that, but they still had him going in there with it, and they actually he did not want to do it, and the director tells him, "Listen, if I tell Robert De Niro to do this, guess what? He's gonna do it." That's what the director
that
told him.
adds to what I read, that a lot of people found the
So
director really hard to work with, and he was
yeah,
kind of an asshole.
and the actor was like, "Nah, this movie is just fucking." I wish I would have never took part of this film.
Mike, I had a feeling that the reason that the natives were reacting the way that they were doing was because Mike did something. And when Gloria, who's there to prove her thesis, somewhat proved it. And I actually liked the way that she spun it because she said they're only reacting like this because of what Mike did. They could have, none of them got attacked by the natives. And now that you told me that those are real natives, I would have been really uncomfortable working on the scene going,
They don't have to pay them. They don't have to
not
pay these
just
people.
that, but I'm like,
That's why they
what?
do it.
Well, I mean, think about it. We've heard horror stories. What if like these natives would have said, dude, we've got like all kinds of flavor of dinner sitting here. When they go to sleep tonight, we'll hit them with our harpoons, and that's it. And nobody's gonna know. We'll say that they left. The filming finished and they left. We don't know where they are. Burp. You know,
It
as you
probably
burp
wasn't
on.
a real cannibal tribe. It's just,
Well, I mean, that's where my thought process was going.
you're a
But
sick man, Joe. That's why.
well, this is why I watch these movies. And every once in a while, I come across, you introduced me, so I guess I'm gonna put it, I come across something that
Well,
is just, the
it's
depiction,
funny. Go
but the depiction of the natives seems so damn real.
Yeah.
When they were being chased, like other people may have viewed it like it looks kind of weird, but they're hunters, so they don't like, if a person is gonna go hunt one of us, we're gonna be running. Like they move differently. They're stalking prey, and it made these fucking natives like actually look like, I'm sitting there going, oh, they don't look a little short. Like I'm like, they'll fuck me up. I'm like, let me not kid myself.
Dude, there's no way. When I saw Rudy come up with that kooky plan, or let you distract them and I run, where you gonna go, bro? You're in the Amazon jungle. You don't know how to survive out there. Like you said, these people, they live here. They know
Yeah.
this terrain inside and out. They just waited for him to fuck up. He
Well,
this
and
guy went into a first of all, he slips it and rips a fucking gash into his leg, and then he goes into the piranha infested waters, bro. Come on, dude.
how
You're in the Amazon, bro.
no,
What the
that's the other
fuck?
part. How did you
What are
not
you
know that you're
doing?
gonna get into the fucking water?
It's
You
in
got a
the
gash in your
Amazon, and he's
leg.
supposed to be a smart guy. He knows what's out there. Come on, man.
Yeah. All right. I'm like, water. Okay. What's going to attract them? Alligators, caimans, snakes, piranhas. I did like the touch of the piranhas, though. I
Yeah,
thought that
because it
that was
makes
kind of
sense.
a that was
It's
a kind
native
of
to
a
that country. Yeah.
and it was just like I'm sitting there like, dude, I can't. We haven't seen a good piranha stuff in a movie in a bit. To be honest with you.
Was piranha. This movie had everything. And the funny thing about it, you were worried about me with all the animal, abuse. I thought about you when I saw that big ass fucking spider.
Oh God, I know. The
I was like,
Black
oh,
Widow. I was just
Joe,
like, oh yeah, no.
Joe.
This was a whole nightmare for it's a nightmare for the both of us. I mean, I
Yeah,
honestly,
this was a hard. This was hard to sit through. I'll be
it
honest with
was.
you.
It was. It was. I mean, it was tough. I think Joe was his friend, right? Is that the name of?
Joe, yeah,
Yeah,
when he
poor
said,
Joe.
yeah, what was that line here? He was like, wait a minute, what was that? He was like, Joe, a born loser, a fuck up, cocaine. I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
Joe. And then the funny part about it, when they got on the boat, they were like, he was like, hey, Jose, you're talking to the guy who was like, what the got Joe's both names over here. Like, Joe.
Mike ends up actually, like I said, I had a feeling he did something. And then when they showed him torturing one of the natives and you get the whole reason, now it all starts making a little sense
They
why
ate his
Mike is there.
genitals.
Dude, well, I honestly,
The
was glad
dialogue in this movie rocks.
I was glad that Mike got his comeuppance that way, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting the guy was gonna eat his dick. Because Mike didn't eat the guy's dick, he just cut it off. But then for them to cauterize it, this dude did not bleed out. He went through still some more stuff, which we'll keep discussing. But I kind of was so glad when that happened to him, because I'm like, you know what? He deserves it. All these
Mm-hmm.
people are gonna fucking die horrible ways because of your dumbass. You're coked out. That's another
Let's
thing.
talk about that. Let's talk about
Pendant,
that
bro.
because,
He
yeah,
had that little pendant that he just got the
yeah. Let's talk about that because the whole point with Mike and Joe, they went there looking for cocaine, right? So, or
emerald. No,
these jewels, yeah, these
yeah.
jewels, emeralds, yeah, yeah. So they found this guy that claims to knows where they're at, and he had 3 of them on him. So he said, "I could show you where the rest of them are." But these guys are like, "No, no, okay, show us." But they're in the back of their minds, they're shysters, they're conniving. They're gonna plot to once he takes them to the village, he's gonna kill him, steal his emeralds, and steal the rest of his stash. But once they found out he didn't have a stash, they just fucking took the guy in his own village, strung him up, and like you said, they castrated him and just made a mockery of those people.
Yeah.
And I think that was at first that was a nice little twist because I haven't seen anything like that before in a film like this. I don't watch many cannibal films to be honest with you because they're all, unfortunately, they're littered with like animal abuse anyway. But I did like that. I did like they kind of flipped it around. And at first, I was thinking to myself, is this going to be an actual cannibal movie? Or they're going to flip it and make them the sympathetic, victims. And Mike is the real villain here, which he was a villain. But
He was.
unfortunately, he turned these natives into, bloodthirsty, vengeful
Revenge. It was straight up
people
revenge.
looking for revenge. And they just do you think they really? I mean, come on, they ate people so easily. I don't think they just. All right, well, you think we're cannibals? Here, we'll show you cannibals. No, when they took poor Joe and they fucking sliced him up, and the way they started eating his guts and shit, that shit looked fucking real, man. Like,
It
I'll be
did,
honest,
man.
bro,
It
because it
did,
was so
dude.
sloppy. And you know what I mean? Like,
And even
oh
what they were
man,
eating looked real.
yeah,
I don't know what they ate, but it
entrails,
looked real. Entrails.
Joe.
Like they weren't even eating the flesh. That was so gross. Like it's eating up all the insides.
And the best part about it is they took some to go and they just left. They just left the
Yeah.
guy just slumped out there.
Well,
By
and
the way, the people who played the corpses are horrible in this movie because every time they showed a dead body, you could clearly see him still breathing. Even Joe, when he was supposed to have been dead, like God, dang. I love these old movies, man.
Well, and like I said it is revenge. It's because they could have easily have killed Mike and Cho when they were in the village. They could have easily have, yes, once he pulled out the gun, they realized that he's got a weapon that can take some of them out. So they all just kind of went along with things. But they were there for at least let's say a day or two.
Yeah, it wasn't long. Yeah, because
So
they
the
spent the night.
natives
Yeah.
were welcoming. You know what I mean? They welcomed them into
They let him in. Yeah.
they let him in. They
Yeah.
were hospitable.
Yup.
And then you killed one of our friends, one of our people in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
You cut his dick off and then let him bleed out to die in agonizing pain. Joe said that he was crying the whole night until the crying finally stopped, and that's when he was dead.
But you know what I find interesting now that you say that? We're talking about the time lapse here. Yeah, that happened the night prior probably, but how the fuck when they found the body strung up, he was all rotted away already. Like it
Well,
wouldn't
they
rot that
burned it.
fast.
They burned it because he
They
said it
burned
was
them,
yeah, because he said it was burned up to. That's why you can't recognize.
and
You can't
probably the
recognize it because it
crows,
was
right? The
burned up.
crows started eating the flesh too. I'm assuming. Okay, yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, so when the natives decided to basically, give them back their stuff, I felt bad for Gloria. I felt bad for Gloria and Rudy because Pat, and I can't every time I say the fucking name, I always say Pat the dog. But Pat, you know,
Yeah, she come on,
she
yeah,
she
she's
she
there. I don't know why
quickly
she was
went,
there.
like
Or
along
Mike.
with things. Then when they show her naked, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, girl, you just met him out in the forest. Y'all both stink. And you're just gonna
Oh,
hook up with this guy, like sitting there random, and then when he then tells her, he goes, come on, have you ever had a young native girl? That's when it started leading more to what else was during the days that he was there, what else was Mike doing to them?
yeah,
Because it probably wasn't just him. It's a reason why
that's
all
right.
of them
Because
were scared.
they killed him too. They killed the native girl, right? He
Yeah, he
shot him.
shot her. He
He
shot
shot
her.
her.
And then the Pat told the one kid to go run because that's when they were checking out the damn turtle for dinner.
Oh, God.
And it's funny because when I saw that and then they ran away, I go, thank God. But anyway,
Yeah. You're right. I said the same
yeah,
thing.
but I just like I said, I felt bad for the rest of them. It was all Mike's fault. What I got, I when the way that Mike got it, I was
Oh, that
hoping
was great.
I was hoping it was gonna be more like the face of the death, the monkeys. I was hoping they were all just gonna take
Yeah,
turns smashing his head
yeah.
in, but no, it went whoosh.
No, they kept it
Eh,
raw and
yeah,
visceral.
literally.
Once they put him in there, I knew exactly what they were
Oh,
gonna do.
I did not know that was gonna happen.
It's funny because you could tell it was a dummy head because the hairstyle was completely different than Mike's. But I knew it. Yeah, once they put him in there and they kind of hunker like he was hunkered in, but from the bottom with the
Uh-huh.
plywood, and then all that was exposed was his scalp essentially. All right, they're gonna eat his brain. I fucking knew that, and I like that too. They just did it, and just to fuck with him, they just started picking at it, and they just all right, that's it. We had enough.
Yeah, they walked away,
They could have
and
had
then
everyone else. I thought they were gonna be all right. Everyone, come on, have some. But no, they just did it to fuck with him. Like, this is the guy we don't like. They cut his hand off. They fucking cut his dick off. Cauterized his wound, and then they fucking ate his brains.
well, and then not for nothing, but they also after they cauterized him, put him in a hole that had water in it and
On the
mud,
canoe.
basically. No, when they
Oh
after they
yeah,
found the
yeah, yeah,
canoe
yeah, yeah.
in their
He
little prison thing, it was like
yeah.
a mud hole that
That's
he
when he
was
pulled
in.
the dirt down. He climbed out. Yeah, he got
Yes,
out.
and I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, I mean, I get it, but
Yeah, but where you gonna go, bro? You're in the
and he
Amazon
also
jungle.
like he was not for nothing, but I think I would be crying and kind of just having an emotional moment of the fact that my dick is gone. Like
Yeah, he was
it's
a little too
gone.
comfortable. He wasn't
Um,
wincing or
they
nothing.
just
Yeah, that was
it's
weird.
they
Yeah.
burnt it. Like it's like it's scalded down there right now. It feels all right. I mean, it's nothing. Like there was no like
It's a
when he
whole
was
like
coming like digging out.
yeah,
I in
yeah.
my head went,
Yep.
"Ooh, that's gonna rub against that." And it was nothing. He's like,
He Mike kept calling the girl twat. Oh yeah, twat. They kept calling twat. Like notice that shit. Like,
yeah.
who calls who? First of all, no one says twat like that. Like, I don't know. That shit
Well,
was fucking funny, bro.
that was actually one of the turnoffs that the audience and stuff had with the movie was
Yeah,
like
the way
some
they
of the
treated women.
yeah the sexualization of them because
It's
again,
weird
how
because you don't see
random
that in
is a
movies
woman
now.
going to hook up with some guy that
Oh
she
yeah.
just met in a fucking rainforest and sleep with him in a hut of
Well,
what could possibly be cannibals
well,
around
that's why
you?
she
There's
got the
no
hooks through her
logic.
titties, yo.
Oh, dude.
She got the hooks through her
I
titties
will say
because of
that
that,
was
bro.
another like I didn't see that kind of them doing that and
Yeah.
that being her death. Like the one I was grateful for was that we didn't see Rudy's death
Mm.
because
At first, I thought they hit him with a sleep dart or something, but they
I mean
actually killed him right there and
yeah.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't you actually out of all of them to get the probably the
He was a good
kindest
character.
death. He was. Actually, that's the whole thing. It was
He
just
was a
frustrating.
translator. Yeah.
Frustrating how just, when they took off and then they ran back to the village. I'm like, "No, keep going. Like why are you going back to where you just ran from?"
Yeah.
But again,
1000.
it's to add to the whole thing of the story and excuse me, and the bad mistakes that they're making in here. The other part that I kind of did enjoy was when it seemed like they were about to be rescued, and you're sitting there like, "Oh my god." Like, so none of them are gonna die. It didn't really go cannibal holocaust on us at all, and
Spoiler.
yeah, no, they did not get rescued, but I liked how the natives, like, put, the to their necks, like, "Don't make a noise," but then Gloria is saved by the one kid, at least, even though it was Pat that basically spared him when Mike killed his sister or girlfriend, whoever it was.
Oh, good shout. That's why that character
Yeah,
helped Gloria. Got
yeah,
you.
because because
I
Mike could
felt
have
bad for
killed
that
him.
character too,
Oh,
man.
but he's
Oh, what a
running
way
and
to
all of a sudden,
die.
but the thing is
What a
when you
trap.
when you saw that the wire, you're like,
But
"Mm,
shouldn't that native know that wires there? Don't they put the traps down there? Like that was kind of sloppy of that character. I mean, it could
yeah."
happen. It could happen, but
But and then it just added more to what Gloria had been saying, when
yeah,
she discovered what Mike did, because when she does get rescued, she's rescued by a scavenger who's there, or poacher actually, who's there, who brought a monkey who's about to get $500. This is 1981. So you
yeah,
maybe could say he's about to get $2,000 for this
yeah, and
monkey.
yeah, yeah.
But she's talking about how we're the evil ones for going there into,
Mm-hmm.
their world, and she gets rescued. But Lorraine DeSalle at the end, when she's sitting there and, it's for her to get her doctorate and they're talking about her book. Fuck. You can like see that she was just like dead inside. Like
Yeah,
she was so like the acting, the makeup work, because obviously the movie was a little cheap, but just whatever was put in to make her personify outwardly, physically, what this did to her, but to go along with the lie that the boat capsized and she was the only survivor, and to
crocodiles got her.
say that cannibalism is a myth. Like I sat there, I go, whoa. The movie kind of mind fucked me at the end here for a moment because like this is a big decision. She could warn people or tell people this is a myth to protect people from going out there. Like I thought it was kind of actually I thought it was a risky good decision to have made the ending her instead of, putting out the call that this existed to just keep a lid on it. But that ending was gutting just to see because she lost her brother, lost her friend. Like it was just, uh, but yeah. I mean, I thought that was a really good way to end the movie, as far as her saying that it is a myth.
I agree. I love that they went that route. That was a very good decision by the filmmakers because it's not your usual ending, you know. Like you would think, "Oh, let's bring in like you said, let's bring in the cavalry." But she spent a little bit of time with these people observing, and she knows that there are there's men, women, children there, and they were made they were like they took one of their own and just tortured the hell out of this poor guy for no reason whatsoever. They just saw like the white man coming into their territory and just disrespecting them, violating them. And Gloria and she knows that because she's a student. She studies.
Yeah.
I'm assuming what she anthropology, right? Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
So she studies people like this, so she knows that they're not coming to United States and eating us. No, we're going into their territory, even though as crazy as it sounds, but that's who they are. They'll eat
Mhm.
anything. If that's like Dirty Harry, right? He's a vengeful character. He kills the bad guys. The difference here is these cannibals or these natives, they get fucked over and they got their revenge. But you know what? Fuck it, we'll eat you too. Like they'll eat anything. Apparently,
Yeah.
obviously, maybe that's why they had all the animals being slaughtered, just to show that that's just what they do. And if you fuck with us, okay, you think we're these savages? No, no, we'll show you savagery. So Gloria knew that if she would have said something, they would have went over there and wiped out. Yes, they were cannibals because they did cannibalism. They practiced in cannibalism, but she also knows that there's innocence there, in a sense that like these people don't know no better. They don't do it
No.
to be evil. That's just who they are. So you know what? Let's leave them in that corner of the world. And if anyone else wants to go over there, that's on them. We should not be there. So I agree with her decision because it was Mike who started this incredibly violent and sadistic path that all these characters had to embark on, and
Yep.
it was done for no reason. Why? Because he was a drug head. He
Yeah.
was an addict.
It
That's
was fucking
all. That's the
coke.
basis of everything in this fucking movie was fucking cocaine.
So it's funny because it was a coked out idea of going to the Amazon to go scavenge for emeralds. What? Like, you should have gone to Colombia where the cocaine came from. Not to the Amazons.
Get that
Not to,
yayo, that
not to the
perico.
areas that you think. Because at least if you would have gone to Colombia to try to find them, we're like, well, you're like, at least I can get the fresh stuff over here, and not risk
Yeah,
it
yeah.
and going into territory where
Yeah.
nobody's gonna come out from.
Yeah, I agree.
The movie was also known as Make Them Die Slowly. And I want to say that when they tried to get it released, I think only 100 theaters had actually played it. A lot of theaters were not on board. A lot of the whoever the companies that owned them did not want to show it. It was shunned in the cinemas, for the brutality.
I wonder
Um,
why.
well, the animal stuff, like literally the movie, a lot of animal rights, a lot of people went after it. I don't blame them, and the sexualization of women. With that said, it was a 1981 movie. It was probably up there on, yeah, no, we both already said it. We're not going to see this again. Unless if I keep thinking about anything from it, it might pop up on movies that fuck me up. But we'll wait about that because that would mean I'd have to watch the movie again. But other than that, I was again, this is why we're doing this show is to find new stuff. Bravo for the director to push the envelope. I think it was a little bit on the too much. I can kind of see why people thought he was an asshole and difficult to work with, because making people have to see or do, because once you told me that he tried to get the actor to do that, I wouldn't have done it as an actor. I would have been like, fucking fire me, we're done right now.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me enough.
Like
No.
I'll give you the rest of the check that you paid me and I'll give you back the money to walk away from
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Only
hell
for
yeah.
that. I don't want to shit on the movie because it is cinema. It's why we do this, So I mean,
Interesting enough, though, it's to me, in my opinion, I really enjoyed this movie. Other
so
than
did I. That's what I'm
the
saying.
animal
Like,
shit, that's what's furying. That's what makes me so mad is if you take most of that shit out or fabricate it. Why, you know what I mean? It would not have taken anything away from this movie if
it
you would
leaves
have
a sour
just not
taste in your mouth.
included it.
No pun intended.
Or come on, man, hire some makeup artists, man. Come
Yeah.
on, what the fuck?
Yeah. By then, a lot of movies had been out that had been using a lot of the, puppetry and stuff like that, that they could have done this a completely different way.
I think again, I don't think it's I don't think it's they wanted to save money on effects. It's they wanted to have they
Shock.
wanted to have the shock value attached to the title to sell more tickets because now, oh wait a minute, it's banned. This movie's banned. Oh, I gotta see it now. You know what I mean? So that's all
And
it
it
is.
and it's funny because if I had known about this movie, it would have been thinking that it was banned, and it would have pushed me to have seen it. It's funny that I didn't see this before you. Well, actually, both saw it for the
I
first
don't think you
time.
heard of it. Have you ever heard of this movie
No,
before? Yeah,
no,
exactly. That's
no. That's what I'm saying. So it wasn't as
I'm glad
um
we did it though. I'll be
and as
honest.
Holocaust was, and all the stuff that I knew about that one. So that's another thing. And maybe it was just overshadowed with Cannibal Holocaust as being one of the one that everybody really talks about. Because once you see that one, you're going to kind of also see a couple other things that I just refrained from
Okay.
discussing this one. Um, any last things you want to throw in about the movie?
The last thing I want to say is there is one scene in particular that I had to rewind a couple times. Like it was sheer insanity. I was like, "What's going on?" I still don't know what happened here. You know how the before I don't know. You called it an anteater. I don't know what this thing was. It did have a snout that like an anteater, but I don't know. I couldn't tell what it
Aardvark
was.
is the only other thing I
It
can
could
think
have
of.
been. So that's when they're traveling. They got this animal in the back of the seat, and then that's when they have the lizard crossing the iguana crossing the road, and they kind of swerve. When you watch when they swerve, I swear to God, bro, I thought it was a monkey like chasing them right behind the tire, like going like this. I'm like, what the fuck was that? But they didn't mention it, dude. Like they were complaining about the iguana, and I'm like, what in the world? Hold on, I rewinded. I'm like, yes, there's something chasing them. But then the next scene, they're driving and the animal's in the back. You can see the animal. Like, wait a minute, did the animal fall off the back seat while they're filming and it tried to catch up? Go back and watch. I swear to you, bro,
Right.
there's an animal chasing the Jeep, but they brought no attention to it within the narrative of the story.
I'll have to
What
look
they
for that.
did bring up was they said something like, "Oh my god, damn lizard crossing the road" or some shit like that. Bro, dude, it was insane because it was really fast. If you look at it, it's really fast, but you see something chasing, like,
I'll have to
like
look.
what the fuck was that?
Hopefully, it
But
wasn't the little aardvark that was still on a rope saying, "Don't take off without
that's what it
me."
looked like. It looked like in real, like while they're filming, the poor animal fell off the back of the Jeep and it's trying to, or it figures, oh my God, all right, let me get back on. And you see it like trying to get, I don't know,
I'll
insane. But that was funny. But I did like that. I love seeing actors I recognize. And this movie had like at least three of them. And Sergeant Ross again played Mr. Ross in the City of the Living Dead, and Mike, of course, was Bob, and the detective, the lead detective, was also in Cannibal Holocaust and another film prior to that, with the same director. Again, he was a porn star. Oh, and if I knew that, I would have never put him in this movie. But you can kill a poor turtle alive on camera
Right, and
and show us that. But porn is crossing the line. Fuck you.
well, some people have their standards and some other ones kind of don't. With that, make sure to hit the subscribe, hit follow. Our medias are available for you guys to follow us. On our next stop, we're going to be doing The House by the Cemetery. So with that, thank you for watching and continue to support Italian horror cinema.
Just stay put, shitface.
Where is that motherfucker?